Welcome back to the deep dive. Usually we kick these off by, diving into some dense piece of research or a sprawling investigative article you've sent our way.
Right, something we can really get into the weeds on.
Exactly. But today we're starting with something that on the surface looks incredibly simple. It's something pretty much everyone listening has probably done, at least once this week?
No, at least the doom scroll.
Or, if we're being optimistic, the hope scroll. You know the routine. You've got 5 minutes before a meeting starts, or maybe you're procrastinating.
Totally.
And you open an app, you're not looking for news or friends, really. You're looking for a little hit of dopamine, something to make you feel, capable, motivated.
And the algorithm is frighteningly good at providing exactly that. It just feeds you these little micro doses of inspiration.
15-second clips, usually.
Yeah, gym transformations, people yelling about waking up at 4 a.m.
Or nature. Nature is huge for this. Lions roaring, eagles soaring.
It connects to something primal. It makes you feel like, hey, if that gazelle can run that fast, I can definitely finish this spreadsheet.
Which brings us to the source material for today. It's a viral video from a channel called Bolt Motivation.
I love that name.
Yeah.
It's so aggressive.
Bolt Motivation. It implies impact, speed.
It implies that if you watch this, you're going to get this, electric shock of productivity.
Yeah.
It's designed to jolt you.
Right. So the video pops up, high-def footage. And it's not a lion this time, it's a penguin. A single, determined-looking penguin marching through the snow.
And the caption is always something punchy, like never give up or create your own path.
Millions of views. The comments are just full of people saying, this is me, or respect the grind.
It's the classic underdog story. The lone hero on an adventure. Or, well, that's what it looks like if you just read the caption and keep scrolling.
And this is why we're here. You sent this back to me with a pretty alarming note. I wanted to do a light segment on, resilience in nature, a palate cleanser.
And I sent it back saying, read the full transcript. This isn't happy feet.
No, it definitely isn't.
And that's the danger of the hope scroll, isn't it? Context is often the first casualty.
So when you dig into what the film crew actually witnessed, the story just shifts completely.
It's not a Disney movie about a brave explorer. We are watching a tragedy. And frankly, a biological mystery.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We need to unpack why a video about a penguin is being shared as this symbol of motivation when the reality is, as the source puts it, much darker.
Right. We're going to look at the biology, the crew's dilemma, and then the really strange paradox of why the internet found it so inspiring.
It really forces us to ask a tough question. What are we actually cheering for when we double tap that screen?
Are we cheering for life? Or are we cheering for something else entirely?
So let's set the scene properly. Let's forget the Bolt Motivation overlay and the hype music for a second. What was actually happening?
Okay, so the source describes a film crew, and they're observing a large penguin colony in Antarctica.
Now, a colony is usually just organized chaos, right? If you've ever seen footage, it's loud, it's smelly.
It's total chaos,
Yeah.
Shoving, squawking. But beneath all of that, there is this profound collective intelligence at work.
Like swarm intelligence.
Precisely. The group is a superorganism.
Mm-hmm.
And in this context, that superorganism has one overriding biological imperative: get to the ocean.
The source notes the whole colony was heading to the water. That's the baseline, that's the norm.
The ocean is food, it's safety. The ocean is life.
And it's not just a good idea to go, it's completely hardwired, isn't it?
It is the fundamental drive. Every neuron in a penguin's brain should be firing a signal that says go to the water. Their entire survival depends on it.
So you have thousands of birds waddling in one direction. It's this collective survival march.
A river of black and white.
But then the source says they noticed one penguin stopped.
Just one out of thousands. And this is where the behavior becomes, aberrant. He doesn't just stop for a rest.
Right.
The source explicitly says he turned around.
That's the moment of deviation. And I think it's important to clarify, this isn't like a human getting turned around in a parking lot. Penguins have incredible navigation systems, don't they?
They do. They use the sun, landmarks. There's even research suggesting they can sense magnetic fields. They are biological GPS units.
So for one to turn 180 degrees away from the ocean, that's a massive neurological failure.
It's like a computer ignoring its own operating system.
Yeah.
He is fighting millions of years of evolution in that single turn.
So he turns and he starts marching alone. That word alone, it feels so heavy in the source text.
Because for a colony animal, alone is a death sentence. A penguin on its own is vulnerable, it's inefficient, It's eventually dead.
But here's the kicker, and this is what makes the footage so weirdly compelling.
He isn't wandering aimlessly. He isn't confused. He has a destination.
He's heading for the mountains.
The mountains.
Now, the mountains in Antarctica, they're not a scenic hike. They are miles inland. They're just rock and ice.
There is absolutely nothing in the mountains for a penguin. No water, no food. The source is very blunt about it. It describes his heading as towards certain death.
See, that's the phrase that stuck with me. Certain death. It's not a gamble.
No, it's a guarantee. And that's what's so unsettling. If an animal gets lost, they usually look distressed. They try to find the group.
But this penguin, the description suggests he's just marching with intent.
He turned around. He marched. He headed for the mountains.
It almost feels philosophical, like a conscious rejection of the system. But before we project too much human philosophy onto a bird,
which we are definitely going to do later,
we have to talk about the humans who are there, the film crew.
Right. The observers.
Because if I'm there, and I think I speak for most people, if I see this little guy marching off to his doom, my instinct is to put the camera down and go grab him.
Of course. The empathy reflex. You want to correct the error. You want to fix nature when it looks like it's breaking.
But the source explicitly says the crew refused to save him. Refused. That sounds incredibly harsh.
It does sound cold. But it touches on that sort of prime directive of nature filmmaking. Generally, you don't intervene.
I get that with, like, a lion and a gazelle. That's the circle of life. One dies so one can eat. But this isn't that. This feels different. It's a malfunction. There's no winner.
And that's a valid point. In fact, crews have intervened before. There's that famous Planet Earth case where they dug a ramp for penguins trapped in a ravine.
Right, because that was a freak accident of the landscape.
Exactly. But the situation was different. The source clarifies that they refused not because they were cruel, but because they realized the futility of it.
The futility.
A crew assessed the penguin's state, and they realized that even if they dragged him back to the group, he would just turn around and walk right back.
That is chilling.
It changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? It's not about physical capability. They could have picked him up.
But it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. Imagine it. You carry him 500 yards back to the noisy, safe crowd, you set him down, and he just, without hesitation, turns around and starts walking back.
So he wasn't lost. He knew exactly where he was going. He was just going to the wrong place.
Precisely. And that realization is what paralyzed the crew. You can't save a creature that is determined to pursue a path to destruction. The will, or the glitch, was permanent.
It's like that saying, you can lead a horse to water. But this is so much darker. You can lead a penguin to the ocean, but you can't stop him from walking into the mountains.
And the source uses this very specific, almost poetic phrase to describe where he was going. It says he would walk right back into the void.
The void. That feels like a very intentional choice of words.
It is. The void implies more than just geography. It implies nothingness, the cessation of existence.
So it elevates this from a biological anecdote to an existential one. He's not walking toward a place, he's walking toward the end.
And doing it alone. We keep coming back to that contrast, the safety of the collective, and then this single black and white figure walking into the whiteout.
It's the ultimate contrast. Community versus isolation, instinct versus whatever this was.
A short circuit. A death wish. We don't really have the language for it in animal behavior.
And the source doesn't pull any punches about the outcome? There's no twist?
No. It states, he almost certainly died.
Almost certainly. Which, in Antarctica alone, is certainly.
There was no Hollywood ending here. The crew didn't save him. He walked away. He died.
Okay, so this brings us to the biggest paradox of this deep dive. We have to pivot from the ice to the internet.
Right.
We have established this is a tragedy. It's a story of a fatal neurological misfire or a suicide, however you want to frame it.
Yeah.
So why? Why on earth is this on a channel called Bolt Motivation?
And why does the source say the internet fell in love with him?
That's the fascinating twist.
The source even acknowledges it. It says the reason the internet fell in love with him isn't because he lived.
Because he didn't.
Right. So if we don't love him for surviving, what are we loving him for? Motivational videos are usually about overcoming the odds to win.
The runner who falls but gets up and wins. The dog that gets adopted. Success is the metric. We tolerate the struggle because of the success.
But here the metric is totally different. The source suggests we are just captivated by the resolve.
The resolve to what? To die.
The resolve to choose a path and stick to it. Think about the channel name. Bolt Motivation. Motivation in its rawest form is just the drive to move. It has a magnitude and a direction.
And we usually only care if the direction is success.
But this penguin proves that you can have 100% motivation, 100% magnitude, even if the direction is the void.
That's kind of terrifying. But I see what you mean. We live in a world where we're constantly compromising. We follow the herd, our own colony, every day.
Exactly. We go to the ocean because that's where the safety and the food is.
And here is something, this little flightless bird that just says no.
Even if no meant death. There is a dark allure to that kind of autonomy. To see a creature choose its own path so completely that giant humans realize they're powerless to change its mind.
It's like we admire the will, even if we're horrified by the destination.
It's the rebel without a cause archetype, taken to its absolute extreme. Or maybe rebel with a cause we can't comprehend. To us, the mountains are death. To him, who knows? But the certainty, that's what went viral.
You know, it makes me think about context collapse. It's a term from media studies. You take a video out of its original context, a nature documentary about tragedy, you strip it down to 15 seconds, put some hype music on it.
And you can project whatever meaning you want onto it. The grindset culture loves this. They see a lone wolf or penguin leaving the sheep behind.
They project hustle onto what is actually biological failure. They see a pioneer.
While biology sees a glitch.
But the source implies the internet knows the context, or at least finds it out, and loves it more because of the tragedy.
I agree. If the crew had saved him and he'd waddled back to the ocean, there's no story. It's a cute clip you forget in 5 minutes.
The tragedy is what elevates it to a legend. It's the Romeo and Juliet effect.
But with a modern twist. It's Titanic meets Rocky, but Rocky loses and dies, yet he keeps fighting. We respect the fight more than the win.
And that says so much about us, doesn't it? It suggests we are starting for certainty. We're so anxious about our own paths that seeing anything move with absolute conviction is intoxicating.
Even if that conviction is an error. It's like we're subconsciously saying it's better to be wrong and sure than right and hesitant.
Which is a dangerous lesson to apply to real life. That's how you walk into your own personal mountains.
Extremely dangerous. It's romanticizing self-destruction disguised as determination. But as a viral moment, it's perfect. It hits every button.
It really does. Cute animal, rebellion, tragedy, mystery.
And silence.
Yeah.
The source emphasizes the silence of the mountains versus the noise of the colony.
So let's recap this strange journey. We've gone from a YouTube clip to existential philosophy pretty fast.
We started with the visual, a standard nature scene, a colony doing the logical thing.
Then the deviation. One penguin stops, turns, and marches alone toward the mountains. A complete rejection of the survival instinct.
We looked at the crew's dilemma. Refusing to intervene, not out of cruelty, but realizing the penguin's intent was unchangeable, that he was committed to the void.
And finally, the paradox. The internet falling in love with a creature marching towards certain death, finding motivation not in his survival, but in his unwavering will.
It really forces you to rethink what you're looking for when you look for inspiration. It suggests maybe we value the act of choosing more than the result of the choice.
Which is a terrifying thought, but also, I don't know, kind of empowering in a very twisted way.
It's complex. We're projecting our own desire for freedom onto an animal that has simply lost its way.
The source material is so short, just a few lines really, but it packs such a punch. He turned around. He almost certainly died. The internet fell in love.
3 sentences that tell a whole story about nature and us.
So as we wrap up, I'm just left thinking about that little guy marching into the whiteout.
It's an image that really sticks with you.
And it brings us to a question I want to leave you with. We spend so much of our lives trying to survive, trying to fit in, trying to make it to the ocean like everyone else.
Right.
But here we have a story where millions of people celebrated a creature that did the exact opposite. So, if the internet fell in love with this penguin, not because he survived, but because he committed fully to his path, what does that say about what we actually value more? Do we value survival? Or do we value the terrifying, beautiful power of an unshakable will?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next one.